Welcome back to Daily DeFi. Today's June 26th of 2021. Hope everyone's doing well. It's a nice humid day here on the Black Sea in Batumi, Georgia. Today's topics include some very interesting things for the market, kind of some zoom out things, right? So we talked earlier about correlation on Daily DeFi 150 just 2 days ago. Basically how I look at Bitcoin dominance, different correlations in the market, but it's also very interesting what's going on with Ethereum and these options expiring. So it caused for a bit of a dip to start off the weekend, which personally, again, I kind of enjoy these dips. You can either use them to your advantage or, again, they can be the crux of you if you don't know how to play this market. That's why I always talk about, watching that global investment framework video, understanding, first of all, obviously how to do your own research in whatever investment asset class it is. Personally, I'm in commodities, real estate, all kind of global investment sectors. And when it comes to crypto, it's very, very important to do your own research because a lot of these coins that we talk about that are low market cap can have incredible upside opportunity. But the most important thing is your entry and your exits. And the most important part of that is having multiple, right? So multiple entries, at least in my opinion, and multiple exits if you identify this project is fundamentally sound. So we'll be talking about Kava, Reef, Coti, an interesting little update here for the Chinese Communist Party 100th anniversary. We will be talking a little bit about that. I think China is an interesting country, but as far as politics goes, I would not personally want to live there. Visiting is nice, but I don't want to get too political here. So anyways, Ethereum faces largest ever options expiry as bears appear to dominate. And then also just talking about kind of macro here on Decrypt, how Bitcoin fell 9% and ETH fell 8%. Obviously, this pulls a lot of the altcoins down. So we always kick things off here on DeFi Pulse and Juicy NFTs. And we see this, the total value locked in is kind of hitting these lows, right? 46 billion. Obviously when I first started this series, it was like 20 billion locked in. When I first did this, it was back here in, it was like January of 2021. Yeah, so around 16 billion locked in. So again, where was your entry and where was your exit, right? So if you don't have those things locked in, right? If this was your entry up here and this is your exit, you need to rethink this, right? So ideally, what you do is you average into core things that you believe in long term, and you're not necessarily looking for short term gains. What I look for in short term gains is things like swing trading. That's a whole nother aspect, right? So long term portfolio building versus short term swing trading or whatever type of trading you're doing. For me, the profits that I pull with swing trading, which I talk about in the Global TA course, the free technical analysis course, I basically pull profits and add them to my long term positions, and I also put some aside in stable coins so I have some dry gunpowder. And when the market's crashing, like if we crash back down here, right, then I'll be able to take advantage of these opportunities because that's personally what I look for because I know we will hit higher highs in this market. So it just depends on when, right? So anyways, Aave dominance, 15.38%, DeFi Pulse Index 211.22, down about 7%. You see Aave, Curve, Compound, and Maker. All of these basically switched places since, just a couple of months ago. NFT volume still quite high. Just last week we were seeing it in low five figures. Now we're seeing around $2.5 million. CryptoPunks is definitely leading the charge there. So, and now let's pick up here with Decrypt. So Bitcoin falls 9%, ETH 8% in a Saturday morning dip. So pretty interesting just in the past 24 hours. I'm not gonna necessarily talk about that, but we have lost our footing a little bit, right? And again, it depends. You can use this to your advantage if you know what you're doing. If you don't, you can be hurt by this, right? So people that are like panicking, in my opinion, and like selling, they keep selling at losses. That's never what I like to do. I like to, I don't really necessarily like to realize losses unless it's for like tax loss harvesting, right? Personally, the positions that I'm in, I got in, when Bitcoin was below $10,000. I know I say this a lot on Daily DeFi, but that's the whole point of understanding your entries and your exits, right? So I had multiple exits. I didn't exit all the way out, obviously, as this market was climbing. And because I entered very, very early, I was able to take advantage of it. So I hope anyone watching this that is like, man, it's over. The main thing to understand is the best time to be in the market is in the bear market. When things are boring, when people are not, when there's not a ton of hype in the market, that's what I'm most excited because I like to invert. When everybody's, just a shiny object syndrome, oh, the market's pumping, all-time highs. That's where I panic. That's where where I'm pulling profits. I like to invert what most people do. So that's just kind of my thoughts. Why did crypto market crash? Some analysts think that it could be upset from the stem. One of the largest expiries in Bitcoin and Ethereum options. We'll talk about more on that in in that Cointelegraph article because it's very true. These options with Bitcoin and Ethereum, $3.8 billion signed a long time ago, grant buyers to the choice to redeem all of that crypto, which they can dump on the market should they so wish. So essentially, options basically give you the rights, but not the obligation to purchase at a fixed price, and you pay a premium for that. So there's also, you can like sell options, but when you're buying an option, essentially, again, so what you could do is, let's say, back in when we were talking about in January, you were like, hey, I'm going to buy an option for Ethereum. Ethereum was super, super low at that point. Then you can basically buy it right now and sell it on the market and dump it. And that's what's crashing a lot of these things. So it also shows you how options can be an interesting choice. But again, it's like a weapon. It's like any weapon. You can either use it to your advantage or it can hurt you, right? So that's what you have to understand with options. I have multiple videos on options. Maybe I'll do after Global TA. I just have 2 more modules left in Global TA. And then maybe I'll do like an options course. Because it's interesting, right? Because once you know the technical analysis, then you can start using options to your advantage. But again, they can really, really backfire if you don't know what you're doing. So a record number of Ethereum options is set to expire on June 25th as Ethereum looks to Bitcoin to reverse its price momentum. So Ethereum faces its largest option expiry on June 25th, which was yesterday. Nearly 1.5 billion out of 3.3 billion notional open interest. So OI, yeah, we talked about this on Global T as well, like open interest in Ethereum options will expire. June's expiry has over 638,000 Ethereum. That is crazy. Options contracts in its purview, accounting for 45% of the total open interest in these options. Although it's the largest options expiry in the history of the derivative product, the open interest in Ethereum options OI hits an all-time high of nearly 5.5 billion on May 20th. As soon as or after Ethereum hit its all-time high of 4,362. Pretty crazy. So the put to call ratio for the June expiry is 0.79, which indicates there are more calls outstanding versus puts. 64,000 more. That's crazy. This indeed indicates for bullish sentiment. However, the majority of open interest is held in contracts quite far away from the current Ethereum price, indicating a low likelihood of expiring in the money. So that's very important. You have to understand expiring in the money or out of the money. Again, if you understand options, you get this. But yeah, we'll move on here. I did want to cover this real quick. So again, this is just looking at it objectively. I'm not saying, hey, nice celebration for the Communist Party of China. Not at all. I'm just saying this is objectively what's going on in the East. Technically, I'm in the easternmost country in Europe, here in Georgia. And I will be actually the next country I'm going to head to is Armenia. Look at some options for a banking and real estate while I'm there, and then do a little bit of Euro trip like around Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania. I might talk about this in a live stream. Also, I'm going to be doing a live stream tonight, so keep that in mind. But yeah, also the Olympic Dreams, the Kenyan taekwondo athlete. That's pretty awesome. But anyways, as I was saying, I will be heading to some of Southeast Asia and maybe China if they open back up. Around like October, November, December, that kind of time frame. So anyways, let's see here. So they will celebrate their 100th anniversary on July 1st, but it is not exactly clear. The party was founded on July 4th, 1921. The first Congress, the actual held a month later in Shanghai. Wall magazine, the communist debuted a year earlier. Nevertheless, the commitment to the founding date fits the overall CCP's, that's the Communist China Party, overall stance in history. It's something to be very carefully controlled, constructed, and reconstructed. So, yeah, very interesting things here. But we'll move on. All right, so you can see here a lot of the top DeFi tokens are down. So I just picked 3 that I'm interested in buying a little bit of the dip on. So Coti here, COTI, ranked number 226, about 13 cents on the daily time frame, down about 8%. It's retracing those all-time highs quite significantly from 40 cents back down here. So about 3x if we get back up there. So interesting here. Market cap below $100 million. So $87 million. It was, what was the market cap for the longest time? Coti is one of these where it got really, really hyped up. Yeah, $336 million. Yeah, so quite significant dump there, which again, in my opinion, it's nice to see. I would much rather see this happen than a further high, with this, because that means that most likely we will crash and it's a complete end of the bull market. But I can honestly say that, okay, if a lot of these things like Ethereum and Bitcoin does have another rise, I mean, what I'm looking for is altcoins to at least hit their previous all-time high. So here with Reef, we can see the market cap $170 million. It's retraced back down, but not as significantly as some of the others, right? So this is still an interesting opportunity, but ranked number 142 on 124,000 watch list. Volume is $27 million, down about 13% on the daily. And lastly, Kava.io, ticker symbol Kava, ranked number 126 on about 68,000 watch list, $3.27, down about 2.8%. Market cap is $229 million, and the volume is down about 36% as well. Quite interesting. Let's see, what were all-time highs here? Sorry for the yawns, by the way. Whew. Okay, yeah, $8. Wow. $8.20, and now less than a 3x, but still Kava, long-term, I think, great quality project. So that's all for today's Daily DeFi episode. I hope you understand kind of my thoughts on the market, how I look at, having multiple entries and multiple exits, and how that's really the most important thing that you need to look at after you've identified the project is fundamentally sound. So that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, definitely let me know in the comments down below. Also, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to stay up to date. As always, invest global, and until next time.